Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome. Another report has it that the monarch, okay, the great lion has, left a very scaring instruction with Oletik that, as in, that Oletik should not return back to the palace. That the fact that Oletik had the audacity to move out of the palace, and it's not as if the monarch traveled. The monarch did not travel. The monarch is right there in the palace. As a matter of fact, they said the day that Oletik carried the children and left, the monarch was not even out of the palace. Like some days, you know that he's very busy. Sometimes he could be around the vicinity, or be around the locality or something, or sometimes he would no, he did not go anywhere, that he was right there in his palace having meetings upon meetings with people, getting to see people as he would always do, and all of that. And Oletik had the guts to carry the children, and left without the consent of the monarch because of what had happened the previous day. Now, and if the information we are getting is correct, they say when the monarch found out, okay, bring it. When the now, if you know Oletik is closer to men in their family than women. Sorry about that break. So if you know Oletik very well, Oletik is somebody who is closer to men in her family than women. She's also got an uncle, a maternal uncle, who is very close to her, okay? And this maternal uncle has been that uncle that has been constituting nuisance a lot. Remember when he went to that oil company in Port Harcourt, where all those drama he did that time. But after that time, you notice that nobody talks about him again, because, the monarch had to put him in his place. So after the monarch and family put that man in his place, apparently the man decided to step back a little, and that is why you have not been hearing anything about that man. But it will also interest you to know that the man is right there in Ile-Ife. The man did not go anywhere. Now, why and what is that man doing in Ile-Ife? There was a time there was this, drama about the women leaving the palace, and the women were struggling to stay, and the monarch said they must leave. Remember that drama now? Leaving today, not leaving tomorrow. Where the monarch had to go and buy a house, okay? The Great Lion bought an estate for them, okay? Now, that estate, they have duplexes given to them. There is none of them that has not benefited so much from, the Great Lion. They have duplexes that has been given to them. For Gospel's family is perpetually living in her own apartment. So Oletik's duplex too, they said the uncle is the one who is overseeing it. Now, as we are hearing, if the information is correct, Oletik, that duplex, they say they rented it out, okay? It's one side, like the boys' quarters that the uncle is staying in. So the uncle is right there in Ile-Ife. No, not the boys' quarter. They rented the duplex out, one side, and part of the boys' quarter. The uncle is staying in the main apartment. So right now, when this thing happened, they said the Great Lion sent for the uncle to come, and they say yes, the uncle came. When the uncle came, the Great Lion said one thing to the uncle, that the uncle should send this message, take it directly to the family of Oletik, that Oletik is not returning back to that palace, that you see the gate. If Oletik comes to that gate, the gate will be shut against her because of her disrespect, her sadistic attitude, that he is already exhausted, that he doesn't know what on earth you can do for a woman that will make her happy, that that disrespect, she's going to swallow it because she will not come back there. Now, from what we are hearing, they say the uncle now started screaming and ran back with the message. And now it will also interest you to know that when Oletik made that decision to leave, at least this happens to be what the uncle is saying. The uncle said he didn't know, that Oletik never even told him there was any problem, that he didn't even know Oletik was leaving. Perhaps Oletik just traveled. That was the, excuse the uncle made, that perhaps Oletik just traveled, Oletik did not leave. And elders were asking the uncle that as you are now, you have a wife. Can your wife travel, move out of here and go anywhere without your consent? Because when you're saying perhaps Oletik just traveled, it is looking as if you're justifying the fact that the woman has a right to get up and just travel without the consent of her husband. So basically, they were asking the uncle, is it okay for her to have traveled with the children even without the consent of her husband? That was when the man started begging Ejo that he was going to talk to Oletik. And they said the man was making so much problems and shouting, and that right there when, soon as the man left the the great lion and his elders, they could hear him talking on the phone, as in shouting Oletik down and all of that, shouting Oletik down, because this person is also like the father of Oletik, that the man was shouting. The man was so surprised that Oletik made that kind of took that kind of drastic action without even telling him. Now, the question a lot of people are asking, what is Oletik's problem? Like, why are you always unhappy? Why are you always angry? Why are you always isolated? Why are you always isolated? Like, it's almost as if you're not even there. The only time that they see Oletik is when she comes to her own page or her own social media channels to do those her preaching and everything that she is doing. But right there at home, it's almost as if she is not even there. The question a lot of people are asking, what is the problem? You were the one who made that decision to be a part of that man's life. People must understand that it is not easy. It's not easy to be a part of a polygamous family. Polygamy is not anybody's mate. If you haven't made up your mind, if your mind is not strong enough, do not carry yourself and put inside any polygamous settings, because you will cry and cry and cry. Now it is looking like she was not even prepared, because at some point I used to say that she was the most prepared, but it is looking like she was not even prepared. And then as a woman, you must understand your own personal emotion before you make certain decisions in your life. Oh. If not, the way frustration go wear you cap, the way frustration go wear you cap, you never ever believe yourself. This is exactly what we heard is going on right now in the palace. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged rumors, unverified information making the rounds on social media and shouldn't be seen as fact.